By the mid-1950s, the beloved slapstick comedy troupe, the Three Stooges, had suffered the loss of iconic member Curly Howard, and previous member Shemp Howard had to be brought back in to replace him. Shemp went on to pass away himself only a few years after returning to the troupe, of which he had been one of the founding members. Upon his death in 1955, the Three Stooges had 4 shorts yet to be completed. Because of this, a stand-in had to be used to finish filming the scenes that were supposed to have Shemp in them. Years later, director Sam Rami coined the term fake Shemp in homage to this phenomenon while working on his debut feature, The Evil Dead. The term has come to be used in many situations, and some people don't even realize the term is in reference to the Three Stooges. Join Facts First as we discover how Shemp Howard's death had some devastating consequences. For those who've never heard the term fake Shemp, it was created to refer to a body double who appears in a film or TV series as a replacement for an actor or actress who has either passed away or is for some other reason unwilling to reprise a role they popularized. Fake Shemps oftentimes require the use of heavy makeup and effects to trick audiences into not noticing. Of course, fake Shemps have become a good deal more convincing as time has gone on, but few people realize where the term originated. As it turns out, the term was coined by director Sam Rami on the set of his first film, and coined as a tribute to his favorite comedy troupe. Sam Rami has always had a soft spot for the Three Stooges, and the creation of the term fake Shemp during production of his debut film The Evil Dead is just one way the director has paid tribute to the beloved slapstick comedy troupe over the course of his career. The director's coining of the phrase fake Shemp refers to a phenomenon that occurred on the set of 4 shorts filmed by the Three Stooges in the mid-1950s in the immediate wake of the passing of original member Shemp Howard. Shemp had been one of the founding members of the Three Stooges, alongside brother Mo Howard and friend Larry Fine. But Shemp ended up making his exit from the troupe shortly before it rose to superstardom. He was replaced by Mo's other brother, Curly, who became an even more popular member. The Three Stooges' most iconic shorts feature Curly in the role of the third member instead of Shemp or any of Shemp's later replacements. But Curly tragically passed away in 1952. Following this, the 2 remaining members extended an invitation to Shemp to return. Shemp decided he was willing to come back and be there for his brother, and the original lineup was reborn. Sadly, Shemp passed away in 1955. The Three Stooges needed a replacement for Shemp. Upon the passing of Shemp Howard, the 2 remaining members were put in an uncomfortable position. There were 4 shorts they'd been working on that had yet to be completed, and each of the shorts still had scenes needed to be filmed. Many of these scenes required the presence of Shemp, and this created a major problem. They were contractually required to finish the shorts, and they'd have to figure out a way to do it without their third member. The 4 shorts they had to complete were called Rumpus in the Harem, Hot Stuff, Scheming Schemers, and Commotion on the Ocean. These then went on to become the 4 Three Stooges shorts featuring fake Shemps. By the mid-1950s, the slapstick comedy troupe was already losing a good deal of the popularity it had garnered over the course of the 40s, with their comedy becoming increasingly child-centric. This reduced popularity caused Columbia Pictures to decrease the budget allotted for their shorts. This meant many of the shorts from around the time of Shemp's death were already taking ample advantage of stock footage to fill in gaps where the reduced budget didn't allow for new footage to be filmed. The fact that stock footage was used already in the shorts by the time of Shemp's death meant the remaining 2 members could get away with using stock footage of Shemp to fill in a good deal of the blanks in the 4 shorts. But stock footage wasn't going to be enough to get it done completely. While a good deal of it was certainly used to cover up Shemp's death, Mo and Larry also came to the conclusion they could simply use a fake Shemp, and the rest is history. Before we tell you more about the fake Shemps, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. The original fake Shemp was Joe Palma. When Mo and Larry got the idea to use a fake Shemp for the remaining 4 shorts, they knew who to turn to. It was said to have been director Jules White who first recommended actor Joe Palma, who was a contract player with Columbia, often used for bit parts in the studio's films. Joe was just the right size to be a body double for Shemp, though he didn't have Shemp's facial features or mannerisms. Because of this, the crew had to be very careful about how it went about using Joe as his stand-in for the late Shemp Howard. The main ways the Stooges attempted to convince audiences that Joe was actually Shemp were by only filming the actor from behind and by obscuring his face with some object on the film set. As a bit player, Joe had already worked on a few Three Stooges shorts as a supporting character. Because of this, Mo and Larry already had a positive working relationship with the man. Joe Palma went on to continue appearing as supporting characters in the troupe shorts after the Three Stooges hired on Joe Besser as its new third member. These shorts are the only ones featuring Joe Palma as a fake Shemp, but as established, the term fake Shemp wouldn't be coined until around 3 decades later when Sam Rami was directing his debut feature The Evil Dead. The production of The Evil Dead was notoriously difficult as a result of the minuscule budget. Partway into filming, many of the actors and actresses Sam hired for the movie ended up having to quit because they couldn't stay committed to the project over the course of its long period of filming. The term originated on set. Taking inspiration from his favorite slapstick comedy troupe, Sam Rami used himself and his friends as body doubles to finish the filming of The Evil Dead, without the majority of the actors and actresses he'd hired on for the project. The director ended up doing a pretty good job and went on to coin the term fake Shemp for the film's end credits. This was the first time it had ever been used in an official capacity, though fans of the Three Stooges likely knew exactly what Sam Rami was trying to say. The Evil Dead listed several fake Shemps in its end credits, including Sam Rami himself, Sam's brother Ted, as well as star Bruce Campbell. Sam's use of fake Shemps in The Evil Dead was incredibly effective, and the director continued using the term to credit body doubles on the sets of many of his subsequent features, including his 2 sequels to The Evil Dead. The second sequel, named Army of Darkness, featured over a dozen fake Shemps listed over the course of its credits. Since Sam coined the term, fake Shemp has come to be used as a general way to describe a body double that has been hired on for the sole purpose of replacing an actor who's either passed away or doesn't want to reprise a role. The morality of using fake Shemps changed with the filming of Back to the Future Part 2. Director Robert Zemeckis had asked Crispin Glover to return to reprise his role from the first film, but Crispin wanted more money than the budget allowed. Because of this, Zemeckis didn't bring back Crispin, and instead used a fake Shemp to fool the audience into thinking the actor was still around. This fake Shemp ended up being so convincing, it caused Crispin to sue the film's production, and it was deemed that using fake Shemps to replace actors who were still alive wasn't morally sound. But fake Shemps are still used when an actor has passed away and their estate grants permission to the respective production. Now it's time to hear from you. What was the most surprising part of this story to you? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined Factsverse as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of Factsverse, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else.